What's up everyone, welcome back to a brand new video. I know it's been a bit of time since the last one, but today we finally returned to the series. Last time, we went into Dragon Ball Super, and today we're going to be continuing right from there. If you haven't seen the last part, I definitely recommend checking it out, especially since it has been a while since I covered this series. But otherwise, we'll be continuing right from where that one left off. For this video, let's set a like goal of 3,000 likes. If we hit that, I'll continue the series in another part. Anyways, let's pick up from here. And this series is very close to a finale, so be sure to hit that like button so we get that like goal. Following the last part, we get into the Universe 6 tournament. Things are going to be pretty strange this time around. For the team, it's going to be Vegeta, Piccolo, Saibo, Gohan, and Krillin. A pretty good team, but as you'd probably expect, it's not going to be too tough for everyone to face their opponents. We'll be kind of skipping through this so we can get to the next arc, but I will cover the tournament briefly. Piccolo's going to be the first contestant for Universe 7, and he's so much stronger this time around that no opponent is a problem for him. Not just in his base either, he also has access to Namekian God, which he doesn't even need to use here. At one point, Frost is able to stab him, but as soon as Piccolo feels it, he's able to chop his arm off, regrowing another one before the poison even spreads. And even though they could eject Frost, Piccolo just wants to fight him just to put him in his place, and he wins easily without even transforming. All the matches go this way, and it's kind of a wash. The rest of the people watch on. Damn, they kind of wanted to fight, but if Piccolo's just going to solo everyone, hey, at least they're going to win. And it seems that way up until when Hit arrives. Piccolo eventually does have to go into Namekian God against Hit, trying to figure out his techniques and all. And he does get some knowledge on Hit, but not enough. And he's definitely not able to outpace him. He might not even be able to overpower him. Hit definitely seems like a fearsome opponent. But next up, Saibo's going against him. And Saibo's been working on something since the last part. He's been training more and more, trying to use his Namekian God form, while also trying to combine it with his own physiology. Remember, he's a bit different from everyone else. Since he is a reincarnation, he does inherit abilities from other people, mainly Cell. And Cell isn't just Namekian DNA. He has DNA from Frieza and the Saiyans too. Of course, it's not like Saibo inherited that DNA. But with how reincarnation works in Dragon Ball, like Oob for example, he'd likely retain a similar physiology. And as I mentioned in the last part, his God form's going to be a bit different, at least when he tries to power it up even more. He can take influence from everyone, the Saiyans, Frieza, Cell. Look at Super Saiyan God, look at Namekian God, and although he didn't get to see Golden Frieza, he can even take some influence from Frieza's power, with what little knowledge he has on him. He makes his own form, trying to incorporate all of this at once. It's an evolution, similar to Golden, with godly power, similar to Super Saiyan God and Namekian God. And this is beyond the level of perfection that Cell had, his former self. He transforms, surrounded by a godly aura, and he changes color slightly. Red lightning strikes around the area, and instead of his eyes being red this time, they're actually yellow. It's strange. This form's different, but also similar to Namekian God, both in terms of how it feels and the appearance, but in terms of power, it's definitely way stronger. And he was inspired by the naming of other forms, Super Saiyan, Perfect Cell. Everyone puts a name in front of their forms, so he needs a new name for himself, something creative, something along the lines of Super or Perfect or something. And given the fact that this is the apex of his power, that's what he's going to call it. This is Apex Saibo, an evolution of power inspired by all of his different parts. Hit's not too fazed by this. His time skip is briefly able to outpace Saibo, but Saibo begins focusing. He waits for Hit to attack, trying to find the perfect moment to parry. As Hit attacks, he keeps analyzing, trying to formulate a plan. He sees Hit's movements, he sees when he's about to move. And at the moment, Hit's attacks aren't doing much, because he's not using his full power. Hit's trying to adjust for this new transformation. Saibo's reflexes kick in. As Hit attacks, he tries to counterattack at the right moment. Hit's surprised. Just as Saibo's attack is about to connect, Hit is barely able to dodge. Saibo's fist flies right past him. But then his wrist does something weird. It moves at a perfect angle to hit Hit right in the face, with Saibo stretching his arm out to make sure the attack connects. Even if Hit can dodge, it doesn't matter. Saibo's able to read his movements now. He's caught up in terms of speed. He doesn't care about any time skip or whatever. And with a combination of his Namekian abilities, he can make this work. He creates after images of himself. And all at once, they jump at Hit. He freezes time briefly, giving him a fraction of a second to react, looking around him and seeing which one's real. He figures out which one's the real Saibo. He throws a punch, but Saibo expected this, countering Hit's attack with a more powerful one. He keeps adapting during the fight. Piccolo watches on amazed, as does Vegeta and everyone else in the crowd. And eventually, he is able to win. It was an interesting experience, and he's glad he got to test out this power, although everyone's a little bit heated because they didn't get to fight. But outside of Hit, most of the fights seem pretty boring to them anyway, so it's not like they really missed much. And Beerus is very happy. He proved his universe's superiority over Universe 6. As I said, we're trying to rush through that arc to get into the next one, which of course is going to involve Zamasu. Although it's going to be weird this time. There's no Goku, which means Zamasu's definitely not going to be stealing his body. And he never saw Vegeta fight. He could take Vegeta's body, but he has no knowledge of him, and he has no reason to actually have a grudge against Vegeta, besides the fact that he's obviously immortal. So if he's not going to be Goku Black and he's not going to be Vegeta Black, what is he going to be? Time passes after the tournament, and Trunks then randomly shows up back in the present again. He's tired out and confused, and everyone's wondering what's going on. At first, Trunks freaks out because he sees someone that looks like Cell, and his ki feels familiar too. But Trunks recollects himself and sees that it's not actually Cell. Wait, who is this? He's filled on everything, and he hears that Cell's reincarnated. Weird, but as long as he's good, that's no concern, and he's a Namekian too. It's not like he's actually a bio-android, designed to kill everyone and all. Okay, but that's besides the point. He needs to explain more why he's here. Someone's been attacking his timeline, which makes no sense. The person that's attacking is someone who's been dead for a while, and they wouldn't really even have a reason to attack. It's Piccolo. Piccolo? That makes no sense. Piccolo's been dead in that timeline for so many years. Not to mention, he was evil before, but nothing would cause him to attack again. He's reformed long since then, so why would he try to attack now, if he even is alive then? The group tries to figure out what's going on, and then someone appears. It's Piccolo. He's wearing slightly different clothing, and he has an earring for some reason. Piccolo looks on completely confused. He feels this guy's ki. It's similar to his own, but it's also different in some way. Unearthly. That's not really a great judgment because everyone kind of has unearthly ki. I mean, they're mostly aliens, but it's a different kind of unearthly. It's like godlike almost. It's strange. It's definitely not his own. Piccolo flies up to encounter him. The other Piccolo chuckles. This is what Trunks refers to as Piccolo Black. Piccolo confronts the evil version of himself. He says that he knows this isn't him. He's some sort of imposter. Piccolo was evil once, and he won't let someone else imitate that. It's been so long since he's reformed. He'd have no reason to actually turn evil again. And he tells him too, if he's gonna imitate Piccolo, at least do a better job of it. A true evil Piccolo would get the job done quickly. This one's terrorizing a weaker timeline. He hasn't even completed his job. This actually angers Piccolo Black. Piccolo says it's an embarrassing display, coaxing the other Piccolo into attacking him. As soon as he launches an attack, Piccolo transforms, going into Namekian God. A fist flies right past Piccolo's face. He grabs the arm and rips it clean off. Of course, the other Piccolo can regenerate. But then Piccolo sees something weird. On that arm that he just grabbed, on the hand, there's a ring. Piccolo Black looks down at his new arm. He needs that ring back. Piccolo would obviously pick up on this reaction, seeing what's happening. This ring must be important to him. He's not too sure what it is, but he's gonna keep it away from this other Piccolo. He effortlessly fights the clone of himself. In Namekian God, the other Piccolo is no match. So he's gathered that this guy is some sort of imposter. But why? Who is he and what is he doing? And why pretend to be Piccolo? That earring, it looks similar to the ones that Kai's wear. Beerus and Whis then appear nearby, kind of freaking Piccolo Black out. This guy definitely has something to do with the Kais, and Piccolo tries pressing to see what's happening. Piccolo Black can't keep fighting forever. Sure, he could regenerate, but it's not like he has infinite energy to regenerate. Every time he does, he loses a bit of stamina. His attacks do nothing to Piccolo. They don't even land most of the time. Vegeta, Saibo, and Trunks watch on. He's doing this so effortlessly. And the funny thing is, Piccolo's not even the strongest of them. That would be Vegeta or Saibo. This guy won't be any real threat, but Piccolo's just trying to get info out of him. He could finish this fight right now, but he wants to know who this is. Eventually, Piccolo Black budges, explaining. He senses something nearby and begins smiling. He's right, he isn't Piccolo. This is all part of the Zero Mortals plan. This is actually Zamasu, a Kai from another universe from another timeline. After witnessing the Universe X tournament, he was infuriated by the Mortals' display of godly powers, mostly towards Piccolo. Piccolo was immortal and he was using the powers so effortlessly. He didn't need to transform for half the fights, but when he did actually transform, he was using godly ki like it was nothing. Of course, Saibo did display some godly ki too, but his was also partially a mix of other forms as well. It wasn't fully godly power that he was utilizing. Zamasu was more infuriated at Piccolo. He was only using godly power. He was thinking of carrying out this plan anyways, and he ended up taking Piccolo's body for himself. The magical abilities of Kais and Namekians combined, as well as the power of God Ki within it. It should be enough to take over any timeline. No, all of them. And the reason he got so smug all of a sudden is because an ally appeared. Zamasu himself, the other one. This just confuses everyone even more, and Zamasu's wondering why it's taking so long. Piccolo Black says it's because he doesn't have his time ring anymore. The other Piccolo got it. Oh, so that's what it is. That's what allows him to travel through time, and that's how he got here. Saibo immediately launches a blast at Zamasu, incinerating him, and then he just completely regenerates from it. Oh yeah, there's another Zamasu involved, and he's immortal. Piccolo Black almost forgot to mention. Then, Piccolo just backs off from fighting himself. Piccolo Black's confused. What's he doing? He tells Saibo that he could have this one. Piccolo's gonna take on Zamasu. Piccolo goes to the ground, picking up his recently discarded turban. Saibo goes to fight the Piccolo imposter, and Piccolo Black actually seems kind of concerned. This was that other guy. His power seems strong, and he did consider stealing his body, but he didn't. He backs off. This guy might actually be slightly stronger than Piccolo. No, way stronger than Piccolo. Saibo simply powers up into Namekian God. He doesn't even need his apex form. He looks to Piccolo. Is it alright if he gets rid of this guy? Piccolo said it should be fine. Right. Saibo smirks. Before Piccolo Black can even react, he's hit by a massive blast that completely incinerates him, killing him right on the spot. Zamasu watches on in horror. They did it that easily? Well, it's fine. He is immortal after all. That other guy should have become immortal. It was stupid of him not to. and Zamasu still has a method of escape. He could use his time ring. He lifts his hand up and laughs. Even if they could defeat Piccolo Black, it doesn't matter. He can carry out the Zero Mortals plan himself. And just as he's about to create a portal, he's then sucked up by a wave of energy. Piccolo's on the ground. His turban is in front of him, and he's using a Mafuba. He seals Zamasu away. Who cares if he's immortal? He could still be sealed. It was good that he had his turban there. That'll act as a makeshift container. Well, is that it? Is there any other surprise Kais in Trunks' timeline that are trying to destroy everything? Doesn't seem like it. That seemed to be the only two threats. Alright, cool. They basically avoided this arc. Sure, Trunks' timeline still did face some destruction, and maybe some of the damage is irreparable. But what matters is that the timeline is saved again. If they made it through the androids, they can make it through this. As long as Earth is still intact and there's still people there, Trunks is just glad that there was something left to save. It's not like the entire timeline was erased and everything was for nothing. That would be terrible. Right? Trunks does stay back here for a bit, catching up with everyone trying to figure out what's been going on here. Also interested to learn more about Saibo. But eventually he does have to return to his timeline, thanking everyone for their help and going back there. While Beerus and Whis are going to deal with Zamasu in this universe, they need to make sure to inform Gowasu in case he dies soon. They're able to deal with 2 Zamasus and they don't really want to deal with a 3rd. But we still got some time in this part. After the Universe's tournament, Zeno was definitely interested. Sure, there's not 2 Zenos here, so if anything, he's going to be even more bored. He's been thinking of doing another tournament, and now might actually be a good time. He has nothing else to do. And he doesn't need anyone to remind him either. At some point, he's just going to remember himself. This is going to be the only way to satisfy his boredom. So, he announces the Tournament of Power. Teams of 10 fighters from 8 universes are all going to fight in a battle royale. And that gives Universe 7 a brand new task. They need to find 10 fighters. Well, that shouldn't be bad. They found 5 for the Universe 6 tournament. All they need is 5 more. They could pretty much count on that same team they had before. Piccolo, Vegeta, Saibo, Gohan, and Krillin. Everyone's been training, and some have even unlocked new realms of power. Of course, they didn't really get to try them out yet. But this tournament will be a great test for all of them. Outside of Krillin, the other 4 fighters all have their own unique paths of power. They've all been working towards something unique for each of them. And this could be pretty fun. Then, they all hear voices in their head. It's a familiar voice that they haven't heard in a while. It's Goku. Goku's contacting the group. He's heard about this already. Word got to Otherworld, and as soon as he heard it, he tried to get into contact with everyone. He asked them to let him join, but how's that going to be possible? He's dead. Well, considering the universe is at stake, maybe they could work something out with Baba. And they do know that weird god and angel guy, too. Can't they pull some strings? Well, maybe. They talk to Beerus and Whis and they say, yeah, they could try something. And Goku says if they need another contestant, he knows someone else that they should have join. He's met a really strong friend here in Otherworld, so not only would it be great for him to go back, but his friend can join him too. He's probably just as strong as Goku. Well, at least at some points he is. He did make for a good rival here in the afterlife. So besides the 5 that I mentioned before, they only need 3 more fighters. They're able to get 17, 18, and Tenshinhan on the team as well. For 17 and 18, they knew that Cell got reincarnated. They would have definitely heard by now. Well, at least for 18. And they're actually not too fazed by the fact that Cell is on their team, or a reincarnation of him. They were actually kind of concerned that the androids might overreact, but they're pretty fine with this. They know it's not Cell, and he's definitely reformed. I mean, he's been on Earth all this time and hasn't caused any trouble. Saibo is clearly very different. And after all, these 2 were evil beforehand. If they were able to change, they're not too worried about a reincarnation of Cell being good. Alright, so now they just gotta wait for Goku and that other mystery fighter. Baba brings them to Earth, and everyone's elated to see Goku again, but someone else appears behind him. Piccolo and Saibo are pretty shocked to see him. Why does he look like a Namekian? And Pikkon is just as confused. Why do they look like him? Well, he's not a Namekian, and they're definitely not part of his race. It's just strange, they all look like bootleg versions of each other. But no one addresses it. That would be a little racist, kinda. Even though Pikkon is a knockoff Piccolo. Anyways, the group gets to learn more about him. As Goku said before, Pikkon is pretty strong. I mean, he has been his rival in the afterlife. For all these years, they've been training together, pretty much non-stop. Goku has a bunch of great power that he wants to show off for himself, but Pikkon also does too. But Goku's also interested to see how everyone else has grown, mainly Vegeta and Gohan. He knows Vegeta's been doing some fancy godly training, and as for Gohan, he's been training on Earth working towards something different. This is going to be very fun, not just for the fight itself, but seeing how everyone's grown. They've all done unique training for themselves. And Goku's going to have some surprises in store, not only being able to surprise everyone else, but getting surprised in terms of everyone else's power. But we'll be saving that for the next part. This is where we'll leave off for now. So, what did you guys think about this part, and what do you think is going to happen next time? Leave your thoughts and suggestions in the comments below. I'll be sure to check them out to see what you guys think. As always, if you liked the video, be sure to drop a like. And let's try to hit that like goal from the beginning of the video so we can get another part of this series. If you haven't already, why not subscribe? As well as hitting the bell icon so you're notified about any future uploads on my channel, including more parts of this series or any other videos like it. Anyways, thank you all for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video.